I've been running ads for the past 10 years, earning the 2 Comma Club Award for our agency, and I've spent multiple 7 figures in ad spend to grow my business as well as our clients' businesses. If you layer in our media buyers and our coaches, we are into the tens of millions of dollars at this point on this platform. So in this video, we're gonna break down every single step to setting up the ad accounts properly, ad performance structure, and how to create and launch ads effectively. So let's not waste any more time and dive in. So before we create the actual ads, there's a few things that you're going to need. And this is going to be the foundation for everything we do in the ads platform. So what do we need? Well, first we're gonna need a business manager account, or also known as a Meta Business Manager account. Think of this as the overarching account that holds things like your Meta Business page or your Facebook page, your Meta Manager account. So you used to have to set up all these things separately, but we just need to set up 2. And once we create the Business Manager suite, as well as the Meta Business page, we'll automatically get an ad account. So let's set this up. And quick caveat, if you're just here to run Instagram ads, you actually need these things in order to run Instagram ads too. So before we jump into the setup guide, I want to do a quick plug. I'm going to break down everything in this video and not hold anything back. But if you want more advanced training, I highly recommend checking out Growth School. This is where we really dive into things like funnel building, go high level training, outbound strategies to build your own agency, and much, much more. Check out Growth School. The links are in the description. It's the #1 agency success hub on the school platform. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is set up a Meta Business Manager suite. If I click this link right here, what we have in the description, it will pull up this Meta Business suite. So let's pull up what it will actually look like if you're just creating this for the first time. So here you'll have get started. You're going to want to click log in with Facebook or Instagram. If you've never set up a social media account before, you can click create new account. But this is where you log in. And at this point with our agency, I've created so many ad accounts. So I'm kind of maxed out where I'm at personally, but it's simple. And all you do is just sign in, walk through the prompts, and you'll be good to go. And like we teach in Growth School, we actually encourage you to have your clients set this up, and then we'll add you to their account in the future, and I'll show you how to do that. This just helps mitigate a lot of vulnerabilities when it comes to ad accounts getting shut down, rather than having it all hosted under your Meta Business suite. So once you've logged in and just inputted some simple information like the business name, an email, things like that, you'll be able to click create account. Then it'll bring you to this screen. This is your Meta Business suite. The first step that you're gonna wanna do here once this is online is go down to settings here down in the lower left-hand corner. Click settings, and then you'll wanna click accounts and pages. So now that we're in the pages window, we essentially need to add a Meta Business page to this Meta Business suite. So there was 3 things we needed in the beginning: a Meta Business suite, a Facebook page, and an ad account. So now we're going to either assign that page to this Meta Business suite, or if it doesn't exist yet and the business that you're working with simply has never created a Facebook page, you can just add and create it here. So click this button here in the upper right-hand corner. This is going to drop down 3 different options. So the first option is going to be add an existing Facebook page. So if it already exists, say you're working with a gym and they've already got a Facebook page, rather than have them go and create a new one, you'll just add an existing Facebook page by clicking this button here. Now, if the business doesn't have a Facebook page, you can go ahead and click create a new Facebook page. This will pop up this window where you can name it, you can choose a category, I believe you can choose up to 3, and then a simple bio. Then you'll click next. And an alternate to this, if you need to go and actually create a Facebook page outside of Business Manager, you can just go to facebook.com/pages/create, enter the page name, category, and bio, just like we did. Click create page, and then you can customize it as you go, like adding contact information, a profile picture, cover photos, action buttons, number, invite friends. Like, you can do all these things when you're first setting up the page. Then you'll simply click done and you're good to go. Now, if we want to add an existing page, we'll just click this up top and you can simply type in the name, or if you have the URL, just copy and paste it here and then click next. Then you'll go through a review process. So the admins will get notified that the page is being requested access to. They'll approve that request, and then you're in. You'll have ownership of the page. That'll get added to your Meta Business Suite, and you're good to go. So now that we've got our Facebook page added to our Meta Business Suite, our next step is we want to go to ad accounts. We want to add an ad account because that's where we're going to actually create the ads. So go ahead and click add account right here. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you'll click this plus button, add, and that will pop up this window. So it'll give you a few different options, just like our Facebook page. Create a new ad account, claim an existing ad account, or request to share an ad account. So again, just simply ask the client that you're working with and say, hey, do you have an ad account? If so, we can just claim it, move that to the Meta Business Suite. Or if it doesn't exist, they've never ran ads before, you'll just want to click create a new ad account, and that'll pop up a similar window to name it, add it to your business suite, and you're good to go. So once you create a new ad account, it will show up here in this window, or if you request access and it's approved, you'll get this green check. It'll say access confirmed, and you'll be able to manage that ad account here. The next thing we want to do is add the Instagram account. So if you plan on running Instagram ads, Facebook owns Instagram. So if you want to run Instagram ads, you run them through the Meta or the Facebook ad account. So we need to connect that to our overarching suite as well. So you'll just go over to Instagram accounts here on the left. You'll click on this button. That'll pull you into the Instagram account page. I've already got the Two Guys Build a Biz Instagram account added here and confirmed. But if you do not have this already and it's a blank screen, just go ahead and click add in the upper right-hand corner, and that's going to pop up this claim an Instagram account button. You'll agree to the terms and service. You'll claim that. It'll ask you to log in, and you're all set. Now we've got our Meta Business Suite, we've got our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our ad account. Last thing you want to do here, if you just created this for one of your clients or you're walking them through step-by-step how to create this, you'll want to be added to this account. So say you didn't create this yourself and you were just walking through the gym or whatever business you're working with to create a business suite, an ad account, Facebook page, Instagram, etc. You'll want to just add yourself to their account. So you'll just go to people here on the left-hand side, and then you'll want to click invite people in the upper right-hand corner. Now this is going to pull up a pop-up window where you can just type in the email address of, in this case, yourself, and then you're going to give yourself access. There's one more thing I want to cover too. So if you had your client set this up, you'll also want to be added to the business pages. So you'll go to pages over here on the right-hand side, and then you'll click assign people. This is going to bring up different people that you can add to your Facebook page. You would want to type in your name and then simply give them full control or full access. Click assign, and you're good to go. So now we can get into the fun part here. This is where we can actually create the ads, set up the campaign, and start running traffic. Click all tools here on the left-hand side. This is going to pull up a window, and you can just access Ads Manager by clicking on Ads Manager. If you don't see this in the recently used section, if this is your first time going through it, it's also here on the right under Advertise. 3 down, you'll see Ads Manager. Click that, and then that's going to bring us to this account overview. So this is your Ads Manager account, your campaigns, and I want to click this Excel document looking button. That's going to pop open this window, and we can click campaigns. So we've got our example account pulled up, and I'm going to bring this into full screen here. So when you're first looking at the Facebook ad account, there's 3 things that I want to draw your attention to. You've got these tabs. You've got the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. Each of these you can click through, and this is where you would see different data for the campaign. So think of the campaign level as the objective. This is what we want our campaign to do at the end of the day. So this is going to be the goal. This is what we want to have happen. So that could be traffic, that could be leads, that could be conversion, sales, etc. The ad set level is really where you do the targeting. So who are you going to put this ad in front of? Is this going to be people between the ages of 25 and 35? Are they going to live in the city? Are they going to live in the suburbs? What are their interests, their hobbies, etc.? This is all on the ad set level. And then lastly, the actual ad that you physically see in the news feed, so the creative, the copy, the image, and the link to the landing page is all in the ad tab. So those are the 3 buckets: campaign level, objectives; ad set level, audience; and ad level, your creative. So very important to understand that before we dive into the nuts and bolts. Otherwise, as we go through the campaign, you'll be like, where are we at in the process? So that's the overarching structure. So the first thing you want to do is click create in the upper left-hand corner, and it's going to ask you, what is the campaign objective? What is the goal of this campaign? And you've got a few different options. You've got awareness. So this is really just trying to get it in front of as many people as possible. In marketing speak, this is maximizing impressions, is what people call it. Traffic, so that's optimizing for the click. I want somebody to take a specific action on my ad, which is click on the ad so I can take you to my profile. I could take you to a landing page, or we could open up a messenger dialogue or something like that. And there's even a call feature as well. Next is engagement. So this is going to be more viewership, essentially more people commenting on your video. You really want people engaging, tagging each other. That is what this is for. So sometimes we'll do engagement ads to build up the social proof of an ad. So if we launch it immediately, it'll have 0 likes, it'll have not that many views. But if we optimize for engagement, it'll put it in front of people who look like your audience, but people who are often engaging on the platform, people who comment a lot on Facebook or on Instagram. That's what this objective is for. And the next big one that you need to think about is leads. So that's good for things like instant forms. Facebook has this feature where you don't necessarily have to send traffic to a website. You can just simply have a pop-up that collects their name, email, and phone number, and then sends it to the Facebook page or your client. Great option if you don't have a web page builder, you don't have a funnel. But as far as conversion and having the highest quality, I think traffic is really going to give you that, because the leads will be more qualified by sending them to a third-party page versus the lead capture form. But we do use the lead capture form. Sometimes if we're in a pinch, we want to test things quickly, it's a great option. So for this example, I'm going to create a traffic ad. I want it to optimize for clicks. Then you're going to have 2 options here. You're going to have the recommended settings. So this is presets and really using Advantage Plus, which is their AI model. Or you can do manual. If I just said go through and do the recommended settings, you wouldn't learn too much in this tutorial. And I think it's much more valuable for you to understand the manual components within this campaign versus just doing the AI version of this. This is also going to give you a lot more control, and realistically why clients will pay you money to run their ads, because you're not just clicking the easy button and wasting ad spend on things that aren't going to work. You are building this out from scratch. So we're going to do a manual traffic campaign here. Now this page is just confirming what we just inputted into the campaign level. See these 3 buttons up top here? We've got new traffic campaign, we've got 1 ad set, and 1 ad. We essentially have a draft created. And before we can move on to the ad set level, where we do things like targeting, budgeting, placements, we just need to confirm a few things. So the first thing is to name this campaign. So let's do a gym funnel example. So we'll do free 7-day trial. Now, the next thing is going to be special ads category. So this is only if your ads are related to financial products, employment, housing, social issues, or politics, elections, things like that. With a gym ad, we don't qualify for any of those things, so we can skip that. If you were running something like that, you would just click this drop down, select what that is, and then you could move forward in the process. If you are in a special ads category, what that essentially does is it limits the amount of targeting you can do in the audience section. So ideally, you're running a campaign that is not in one of those special ad categories, but if it is, it isn't impossible to run these ads. There's a lot of different strategies, and we go into that much more in depth in Growth School. So if you are in one of those special ad categories, I recommend checking out some of our more advanced trainings. Here, it's just confirming the campaign type. So we're going to auction for clicks and traffic like we selected. And this option here is for the campaign budget. A lot of people call this campaign budget optimization or CBO. We're going to leave this off by default, and we're going to set that on the ad set level. But that would be just if you wanted to have multiple different audiences under one campaign and just have, say, $50 per campaign, and Facebook spread that budget across 5 different audiences or however many audiences you stack in the ad set level. For now, let's just keep it off and go ahead and click next in the right-hand corner. All right, so now we're in the ad set level. This is where we're going to define things like our audience, our budget, and placements. So the first thing we want to do is name this. So I'm going to continue the naming system I have, free 7-day trial gym launch ad set. And if I was testing a lot of different audiences, I could say audience A. If I go in here and make new ones in the future, I can name them audience B, C, etc. The next question it's going to ask you is to choose where you want to generate these leads. So do you want to send them to a messenger campaign? Do you want to send them to a profile? We want to send them to an actual website so we can convert those leads in a funnel. That's going to qualify them. That's going to get us their contact information. So we want to click website traffic. For the performance goal, we're going to keep this by default on maximizing the number of clicks. You could change this to views, conversions, impressions, but by default, we want clicks. So we're just going to optimize that for right now. And then I would leave this blank, the cost per result. So all that is basically a manual bid. If you said, hey, I only want to pay 50 cents a click, you could put in 50 cents right here. But really that's more for once you've ran ads for a while in the ad account and say you've spent hundreds or thousands of dollars at this point, you'll be able to see what your average cost per click is. And you could say, hey, my average is about 60 cents. I'm not willing to pay any more than 60 cents per click. But right now you can't really set a cost per results goal because there's no data in the ad account. This is your first ad, so don't do that. Keep it automatic, and that's going to give you the best results when first starting out. Dynamic creative, we're going to keep that off because we're going to actually set up the creative in the next tab, which is the ad set level ourselves. And then we get to our budget and schedule. By default, it'll be at $20 per day. And this is a very common question that we get, which is how much should I spend per day? There isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. I think $20 is a great place to start. It's not too low. It's not too high. You're not overcommitting with a big budget, and you're not spending something like $2 or $3 where you're simply not getting in front of enough people. You're not collecting enough data. This is going to be an individual decision. It's kind of like blackjack. If you go to Vegas, you really only want to gamble the amount you're comfortable with losing. So I don't want to say everybody has to spend $20 if $20 per day is going to break the bank or put you in the red. Think about, what can I gamble? What am I comfortable losing? Because quite often you run an ad and it doesn't always work out on the very first try. You've got to optimize things over time. So ask yourself what you're comfortable losing and then move forward with a budget from there. I think $20 is a very safe and conservative amount, but I'm going to leave that to you and the business that you're working with on what they're comfortable with. $20 per ad is a good starting point. By default, it gives you a start date and end date is unchecked. I would actually keep this unchecked. If you select an end date, this is going to say, hey, the ad is going to stop next week. And the problem with that is, say this ad is going great and then it shuts off next week. Now we have to restart the campaign. The algorithm has to start over, and there's a learning curve anytime that happens. So if you shut off an ad and turn it back on, it doesn't instantly perform the same way it was. Whereas if you uncheck this and you just keep it to a daily budget, this is going to keep the ad going. You can make changes. You can always pause the ad, but it's not going to automatically stop. The worst thing that can happen is you have a campaign that's running amazing, and then all of a sudden it turns off because you set an end date. Don't do that. Keep it going, and then just manually come in and pause it if the campaign isn't performing. It's saying my start date is in the past just because I started this campaign a bit ago. So just click reset and that will start the latest time. Now let's go down to the audience section. This is really important. This is where we decide who we're going to put this ad in front of. And I'll give you a bunch of tips and tricks on how to do this, but it's very important to take a step back, especially if you're doing this for a client where you don't fully understand their ICP or their ideal client persona yet. If you don't know who that is yet, schedule a conversation with your client and ask them questions like, who buys your product or service? Where are they located? What is their age range? Is it primarily males? Is it females? What are their interests? And if they don't have this clearly defined, a nice question I like to ask clients is, let's reverse engineer the past 10 people that bought from you. So let's just go in order. Maybe pull up your CRM or pull up your Salesforce, pull up your Stripe account. Let's go through them and see if you can find some commonality between those buyers. If you can build out that profile, you can then target these folks within the ad set level. And I stress this because if you're going after the wrong audience, we can have the perfect targeting, we can have the perfect campaign, the best creative, but it's not getting in front of the right people. So it's not going to work. So very important to have those conversations of who your client's ideal buyers are, define that, and then we can dive in here and create that profile. By default, it's going to set your location to wherever you're physically located. So if you want to change this, we want to click show more options. And also one thing to note here, by default, this Advantage Plus audience is turned on. If we wanted to turn this off, we'd have to click switch to original audience type. I think for your first ad, it's okay to keep this on because all Advantage Plus is Facebook using its intelligence, its AI, its information on the profile that you create. So say we do ages 25 to 35, both male and female in Minneapolis, Minnesota. What Advantage Plus will do is it'll say, hey, I'll take that order that you just gave me. But if I happen to see somebody that's 24 or 45 and they seem to be your customer profile, I'm going to put this ad in front of them because I think we can convert them based off of the parameters you gave me. This is kind of the best of both worlds where you have definitive audience controls, but you're also leveraging their AI and their Advantage Plus. So you can absolutely combine these two together when you don't have a lot of data to begin with. But just to show you what this looks like, if you went to switch to original audience, you would click use original, and this would give you a bit more when it comes to interests and demographics and behaviors and things like that. So just like I didn't give you the easy button in the beginning, I'm going to actually keep this on original audience just to show you all the bells and whistles and all the different targeting that you could be using. So the first thing it asks here is custom audiences. So don't worry about custom audiences right now. Again, this is an advanced tactic that I would say check out Grow School if you want more support on, but really a custom audience is like an email list or a database that your clients may have, which could help you further define who you're targeting. So in this case, if it's a gym and they have an email database of 5,000 people, that would be a great custom audience to plug in here because then we could retarget those folks who have already engaged with their brand, or we could create things called lookalike audiences that essentially just means take this custom audience of 5,000 people, go find me hundreds of thousands of people that look like that data set. So a bit more advanced tactic. I wouldn't worry about that right now, especially if this is your first campaign. But just to know what that is, there is more targeting options, more advanced techniques, and we have plenty of support if you guys need help with that. Now, if you want to change this location, right now it's targeting across the entire United States. In our example, we reference Minneapolis. So let's go ahead and type in Minneapolis. Now, as you can see, there is a radius here showing everyone that's going to be targeting. You might be thinking, hey, this is much bigger than Minneapolis. Well, Minneapolis, Greater St. Paul, they're kind of hand in hand. But if you really wanted to make sure that you were only targeting closer to Minneapolis, you could just bring this radius down. You could do 10 miles. And you're still even cutting a little bit into some of the neighboring cities. So there's some other targeting options that you can include here if this is far too broad. Maybe a niche yoga gym or something like that. People might not be willing to drive 35 minutes across the city to a gym. Ask your clients, how far are your customers willing to drive? And whatever that answer is, you should input your targeting accordingly. So let's say they will only drive maybe 3 miles from the gym's address, right? So we can actually type in the address and limit it down to 3 miles. So I'm just going to do a quick Google search, find a gym that's within Minneapolis. I'll pull up my screen so you guys can see this. Let's do like a CrossFit gym in Minneapolis. CrossFit Minneapolis. Let's pull up their address. Boom. So I'll copy that, go back to Ads Manager, and then I'm going to add the location. So now it's got my address pinned here. This is where the gym is. And by default, it's 10 miles. I'm still getting Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington, Brooklyn Park. Let's bring this down to 3 miles, like we said. So now we're much tighter, and you can go down as low as 1 mile if you want. Hey, people just won't cross this river line to go work out at this gym. Totally fine. Let's pop it back up to 3 just to build up our audience a little bit. And then now that we have the location, these are basically the barriers of the campaign. Let's start defining who within that barrier we want to show this ad to. So under age, we can edit this. By default, it's 18 to 65 plus. Survey the gym. What is the age range? Let's say it's 25 to 45, both male and female. Now that just brought our audience down from millions of people before, nationwide, completely open targeting, to 133,000 people. And we could layer on interest on top of that. We could say people who are interested in CrossFit. Now, looks like that brought it down a little too far. I might need to expand my reach, so we could bump this back up to like 8 miles. Still says it's too specific. So if your estimated audience size is below 1,000, you're going to struggle to get conversion. So I would play with some different demographics. Looks like I actually inputted where they work instead of an actual interest. So be careful of that. Let's do CrossFit again, and let's go to interest. So there's a big difference in these two audience sizes. I was just targeting workers and people who are at CrossFit gyms. So big difference there. Now 25 to 45, 8 miles. Let's see what happens with 3 mile radius, 25 to 45. People who are interested in CrossFit, 25 to 30,000 people. Pretty good. I think that would be a good fit for a CrossFit gym. Let's scroll down a bit further. Here we have placements. If you leave this just like it is and you hit next, Facebook will place this ad wherever it feels like you're going to get the most clicks at the end of the day. And that might not always give you the highest quality. So let's go to edit by hovering over this Advantage Plus placements, and we can select manual placements. Now this is going to give me a breakdown of everywhere I could be placing this ad. So the Facebook feed, I could do it in a video feed on the right-hand column, on a desktop, Business Explorer, Stories, Reels, search results, Messenger, apps. There's a lot, right? So I would start by just unchecking things that you're not going to be doing. For this example, I'm not going to do Instagram. I'm not going to do Audience Network. Let's say I just want this to show up in the Facebook feed. So I would uncheck these other options. I would uncheck Stories, Reels, search results, in-stream, and now I only have the Facebook feed selected. That's a way that you can really control the creative, which you may want to do, because if you have an image that's just optimized for the Facebook feed, and then it starts mashing this on the right-hand side and placing it in the marketplace, like it's going to be warping this creative all over the place that it wasn't necessarily designed for. So you can absolutely place your stuff everywhere. You just want to set up your creative to support that. And quick note, if you wanted to run Instagram ads, you would just select Instagram. You could also do Instagram stories. You can do Reels. There's a lot that you can do here, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to uncheck these and simply do the Facebook feed. So now here in the lower right-hand corner, you can just barely see this because of my face. Right here, you'll go ahead and click next. Now let's keep our naming conventions the same. So we'll do free 7-day trial. Here, you'll want to select the Facebook page. So if we connected this properly, we would go down and select the actual page. For this example, I'll just put our 2 Guys Build a Biz page. And if you wanted to add this to Instagram, I would need to go back to the ad set level, add Instagram, and then I would be able to select my Instagram page right here. So let's jump into creating the actual ad now. We've set up our campaign. We've said, hey, I want clicks. Here's my audience and my ad set level and my budget. Now I want to create the actual ad. What is it going to look like? So now that that's set up, let's create the actual ad. So click manual upload for your creative source. This is where we're going to provide the actual media, whether it's a photo or a video. We'll select single image or video. And then down here where it says add creative, we'll select setup creative. Click image ad, since we're gonna do an image for this ad, and it's gonna give you a bunch of different extensions that come up on your whatever URL you put in. So I'm gonna skip this for right now, and we're just gonna keep this blank. You did put in a client's website, it will pull things like site links, so that'll be backslashes within the company page. So it could be /contact, /schedule. So there's just more options to click on, but we're gonna keep it simple for this purpose and just hit next. And this is where we put in the actual text. So it's a gym. We've got 3 areas to write text. Primary text, so this is going to be just above the image. Headline is going to be just below the image, and then a light description below that. So let's start by just saying, hey, Minneapolis, have you ever wanted to try out CrossFit? Get 7 days free by clicking the link below. Now there's a whole lot of psychology that goes into copywriting, so I would go into more detail here if this was an actual ad, but primarily we want to have a call to action here at the bottom. We want to call out the individuals that we're targeting, and then you can empathize with people in the middle, do a little bit of storytelling, but to keep it simple, we'll just call them out, call to action, and then we'll have a headline of claim your 7-day free trial here. Description, you could put additional details. This is a limited offer, 1 trial per person. Sign up now. And then you'll select a button here. You've got a few different options. You could do learn more. That's kind of the standard default. But let's see if there's any others that look relevant. So we could do no button. I wouldn't recommend that. Subscribe doesn't make sense to this. Get promotions, that could work. Book now, download, get offer could be one as well. So let's do get offer, and then we'll hit next. Here we'll want to actually upload an image. So quickly, I'm just going to show you how you could do this yourself in a tool called Canva. So Canva is free. You would just go to canva.com, create an account. You would then click create design, and let's do for one of their templates, Facebook ad. Now it's going to give me the dimensions of a typical Facebook ad. There's a few different dimensions. There's square, there's rectangular, there's landscape. This example is going to be landscape, and there's a few different templates that we could use. So you could type in, so since we're doing a CrossFit gym, let's do something like this. I think the text is a little bit large. There is a 25% rule with Facebook. They will allow you to run ads that are, larger than 25% of the overall image real estate, but I always err on the side of being more conservative here because sometimes they'll throttle the ad spend. We want this to pop against the background, so I might add some effects like a drop shadow or a lift behind it to really just give the background and the text some separation. You can get even more aggressive with it by doing like a black drop shadow, offset it a bit. And then you could do things like add the logo of the company, but I'm just gonna leave that off here. And then you could put their website, mycrossfitclient.com, whatever that is. Boom. Now I have an ad. So I'll just go and hit download. Just do a JPEG. And once this is downloaded, we can then go to Ads Manager and we can then upload this into our account. So I'll click upload. Let's go to downloads. Go to my CrossFit. Go ahead and hit next. And now we can see what it's starting to look like. All optimizations, I would just keep this off for Advantage Plus. We'll turn that off for now, then hit done. Now you can start to see the ad. So it's like, hey, Minneapolis, ever wanted to try out CrossFit? Get 7 days for free by clicking the link below. Get offer, claim your free 7-day trial. Now you're probably thinking, well, where are we sending this ad to? We can create a simple landing page down below right here. So website URL. This is where we're going to plug the traffic into. So I've actually got a funnel that you guys can download below that gives you a template of a gym. And you could change this to a dentist or a chiropractor or any kind of niche out there. But for this example, we're staying in line with the gym launch. So I just copy this URL, pop it in here. This is just a preview link, so isn't a real website yet, but you can see now we've got an ad, we've got somewhere to send the traffic to, our ad copy, the image, and we've built this out pretty quickly. If you want this funnel, obviously you would change out the logo, but it's a fully functioning website that you can execute a 7-day trial to collect people's name, emails, phone numbers, and this is all hosted in a platform called Go High Level. Go High Level is really the agency OS, or the operating system of what we use. So if you click the links down in the description, you can grab this funnel template, and then you're also going to get a 14-day free trial with Go High Level. So you can click that link down below if you want that funnel. And now at this point, we can just go and click publish. So we just walked you through A to Z, how to set up an ad account, a Meta Business Manager, connect that to a Facebook page, an Instagram page, then create an ad account, get yourself added to that ad account, and then actually the ins and outs of the campaign itself. So the campaign level, the ad set level, the ad level, all the detailed targeting, setting up the creative, all that fun stuff. So hopefully you learned a lot. Obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to running ads and media buying in general. So if you want more support and more classroom curriculum, a community, and support from myself, check out Growth School. It's the #1 agency success hub on the platform, which is School. So check out Growth School. We're actually doing onboarding calls for everybody that joins. So you'll get a link to my calendar. You can talk to me personally. We can set up a roadmap for your success in the community. And it's the lowest price it's ever going to be. Check out Growth School. Would love to see you over there. And if you're looking for a video to just help you understand more of the business model behind this, I highly recommend you checking out this video here where I break down step by step how to start your own social media marketing agency, lead generation agency from start to finish. I'll see you over there.